Then come the judge not and not be judged, which is actually not Matthew 6, but Matthew 7, verse 1 and 2 follows with this. Judge not, and you shall not be judged. Condemn not, and you shall not be condemned. Forgive, and you shall be forgiven. Give, and it shall be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, shall men give into your bosom. For with the same measure that you meet withal, it shall be measured to you again. Judge not, that you be not judged, for with what judgment you judge, you shall be judged, and with what measure you meet, it shall be measured to you again. Okay, so I should put the first verse along with the first, all those extra mentions of give and it shall be given to you, good measure, all that, and then at the end, they'll mix the second verse. Judge not, and you shall not be judged, or that you be not judged. I think and you shall not be judged is better than that you be not judged. So these first words, judge not, comma, space, that's both. That you be not judged. You is both. Be not judged. Not is both and judged. Be is also. So not be judged. It's out of order in Matthew. But they're both there. Condemn not, and you shall not be condemned. Forgive, and you shall be forgiven. That's still only Luke. Give, and it shall be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and it shall be given to your bosom. And now, for with the same measure you meet. That's where I'm going to add these. For with what judgment you judge, you shall be judged, and with what measure you meet. For with the same measure. So right before this, for with the same measure, I'll put in the line from Matthew. For with what judgment you judge, you shall be judged. And with what measure? For with. Okay, so for with, I'm going to say that's both at the beginning. Both. For with what judgment you judge, you shall be judged. For with what judgment you judge, you shall be judged. And with what measure you meet, it shall be measured to you again. It shall be measured to you again is the same in both. So that's orange. So the question is, what's in the middle? Should I put and with what measure you meet? Or with the same measure that you meet withal? I'll keep the word withal. Measure you meet. I like how it reads in Matthew more. With what measure you meet, it shall be measured to you again. Instead of the same measure that you meet withal, it shall be measured to you again. Yeah, with what measure? So with that same, you will be judged. Instead of the same will be for both. And with what measure you meet. Not the same, but with what measure. Now, actually, it's more clear with the same instead of with what measure you meet. Yeah, I'll keep the same. And with the same measure. Because in Matthew, it's clearly for with what judgment you judge. Now it'll be the same with the words from Luke. So I'm keeping the styles of both. Measure and you meet orange. And meet is M-E-T-E. Which the note means measure. With the measure you measure, it shall be measured to you. So that you meet is both. Okay. I heard this from some kind of investor. They called it the Matthew principle, that whoever has will get more, whoever has not will lose whatever little they have. Although that's definitely not just in Matthew, it's also in Mark and Luke. I wonder, however, if I should just put this mention of it wherever it was in Matthew. Although I think that's actually at the parable of the talents, which is later. Or maybe I should move that from the parable of the talents to here. No, you know, with this verse 24 and 25 in Mark, because the first one is, with what measure you meet, it shall be measured to you. That line is clearly mentioned in the Sermon on the Mount, which I moved to the Sermon on the Plain because it's a direct quote. I wonder if I should put this there as well. want to put it back to the Sermon on the Plain. Yeah, you know, I really do want to do that. I'm just gonna move it now. With what measure you meet, it shall be measured to you. The same measure that you meet withal, it shall be measured to you again. Yeah, okay. So I'm just gonna put that there. I'm actually gonna put this whole verse. And he said to them, take heed what you hear. For with what judgment you judge, you shall be judged. Is that in Luke as well? Take heed therefore how you hear. For whosoever has to him shall be given, whosoever not from him. Yeah, so this is not in this portion of Matthew or Luke, so I think this definitely doesn't belong here. Take heed therefore how you hear, for whosoever has. So this whole first portion of 24 can go here in this Sermon on the Plain. And he said to them, maybe I should put that before, judge not and you shall not be judged. Now I'll think it does here. Because he goes into, with what measure you meet, it shall be measured. So it should go just before that, and probably also just before what judgment you judge, you shall be judged. And he said to them, take heed what you hear, then with what measure you meet. So with down here, Matthew, Mark. What measure you meet. So what is explained the same, which is actually better. But measure is all three. You meet is also all three. It shall be measured to you. So from the comma all the way to you. Not again, just you. Is gray. And to you that hear shall more be given. That I'll save.